Initiating podcast download. Prepare yourself. Put on your spandex. Lace up your boots. Wrap your wrists. Hide your razor blade. Head to gorilla position. Grease up your hair. Apply baby oil. Okay, apply more baby oil. Get into gimmick. Keep your ears open and your mouth shut. Have fun and be safe out there, brother. Welcome to Iron on Wrestling. Now your host, Gregory Iron.
Hello again, everyone. Welcome to another edition of Iron on Wrestling with Gregory Iron. I'm your host, Gregory Iron. This is episode 302. Boo-hoo. You're back again, because you've got nothing better to listen to than my sweet, sweet voice. And happy to have you here. Thanks for stopping by. And I think we're going to have, of all the shows we've had before, I think you'll find this to be one of them. And we're going to be talking some pro wrestling. We're also going to be talking a little
Pardon
bit
the
about...
interruption.
I'm sorry, what?
No, I was just interrupting.
Oh, okay.
Something I do. I'm
Is that
Aaron
what you do?
Bauer. I'm
Okay.
here on the show.
Got you. How are you?
This is a wonderful day.
It's a wonderful life, really.
Yeah. It's like a Christmas in July.
Sure. What's new in your world?
Oh, well, been watching a lot of TV lately.
Okay, is that how we're going to start? What are you watching?
Just shows. I got my stories I like.
I heard you saw the new Superman.
I did see
How
that.
woke do you feel?
Who told you?
Are you feeling real woke?
A little bit.
Yeah.
A little bit. This Superman was all right.
Yeah.
Who do you think was the best Superman?
Well, again, I feel like sometimes it's the Superman you grew up on, and I really grew up on the Dean Cain Superman, actually.
Okay, I was going to ask that.
Lois and Clark. I used to watch that all the time. It actually, I feel like people forget how popular that show was in the 90s. It was a very highly rated...
what's her name? Terry Hatcher.
Ooh, what a babe, yeah.
Right?
Ooh la la.
She got her, her big break, I think, was on Seinfeld.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, I'm a Keanu Reeves. The Christopher Reeve.
Christopher Reeve, yeah.
Yeah.
I think Johnny Gargano is a Christopher Reeve guy too.
Really?
Yeah, I think so.
Huh.
Though he has some like a weird theory about Christopher Reeve and
I know this one.
I'm trying to remember. Well,
No.
I probably shouldn't say it on the show,
No.
huh? Okay. All right.
So what else you been up to?
Well,
Did you wrestle this weekend?
What I'm about to say, this goes out to all my boys, and I can't even say it without laughing. Wait, how was it worded? This goes out to all my boys, and in some cases, girls. Gals? I don't remember how.
Gals. What is gals?
Gals?
Yeah.
It's a form
I mean,
of
I know
girl.
it's girls, but why is it gal?
I don't know. But, I was sitting at home, and my brother, he walked up to me, and he showed me this picture, this doodle that he claimed that I did. And I told him, I said, I swear, I've never written a picture in my life. I don't know where this is coming from, but he swore that it was my signature in the pubic area.
What?
So that's what I've been up to. And also, what's the deal with Goldberg? Why is he so mad?
I'm not into this at all. I was very happy for him. He got his last match. We talked last week. We thought maybe them going off and onto YouTube was a thing that they capitalize on. And
Yeah.
I think more people probably saw that because maybe you saw what happened. I don't know.
So I watched. Did you watch the whole interview with Ariel Helwani?
No.
Okay.
I know I talked to him before, but
You talked to Ariel Helwani.
yeah, he came to AIW one time.
Is this true?
Yeah.
When?
We spoke. Whenever Rousey was there.
Oh, he was there?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Everybody. Okay, so UFC was in Cleveland the next night.
That was the Punk thing?
Yes.
Okay.
So, he was there, and I remember him walking in, and like, I think it was Thorne told me, let him in or whatever, and I didn't know who he was. Yeah, no idea who he was.
Yeah.
And I introduced myself to him. He told me his name. I knew it sounded kind of funny, and then people kept saying, "Dude, are you talking to Ariel Helwani, or is he going to interview you?" I didn't know. I think he was like a UFC guy.
Yeah. Well, so I watched the whole interview, and Goldberg, for a guy who didn't want to complain in every sentence where he was like, "I'm not complaining," but he then followed up with a copious amount of complaining, which I found interesting. But then he tried to reel it in, like, most people don't get 28 seconds. And, then he's like, but, if it should have been done different, he didn't have enough time. And at one point, he complained that he didn't get enough time for a speech and they wouldn't have cut off Taker or Cena. But then he mentioned briefly, and no one was really talking about this that has reviewed the interview. He mentioned briefly, well, they said they wanted to do have the speech be on YouTube after the fact. So it's like, okay, so they told you. Because what we theorized on the show was, well, he probably knew that they were going to cut off his speech, because I figured in the world we live in that it's probably going to get good views on YouTube. They like to have people have a reason to go to YouTube, because also they monetize YouTube. So people will go watch Goldberg's 10-minute farewell speech. And I thought Goldberg looked great in the match. It was the best Goldberg match you could. I
said that I've ever seen, and you said it was the best one was DDP, but I didn't see that one. They went off the air.
Yes, but why is this guy so bitter? I don't get it. Dude, you got a final match. And
he didn't even get concussed in that match to end his career prematurely.
To our knowledge, he did not get concussed at all. So it's very odd to me. But and you know what?
His son's a college football athlete. So if you're security, you better move fast.
That's very true. But you know what? What makes me saddest is all, and shout out. Sometimes your heroes will let you down, and I feel like he's probably tearing up just listening to this, having to think about reliving the bitterness of his hero, Bill Goldberg. And I want to say, Ryan Egan, we're thinking about you, man. And I know how special Goldberg was and is to you. And you are in our thoughts. And just know that somewhere in the cockles of Big Bill's heart, there is a level of appreciation. And I feel like if he met you, he would have a deeper love and appreciation for those final moments of his career.
One love.
One love. That's what it's all about. I feel like there's something else I wanted to talk. Yes. Two quick things. And I don't want to make them quick things because we're in passing, but we have a nice show that we have to get to today. We're going to be talking a little bit of banana ball with a good friend of yours.
I like the banana ball.
Big Matt.
Big Matt's
going to be on the show.
The Panda.
I was a big fan of his sandwich at McDonald's, the Big Matt. I had it several times back there. I haven't had one in years.
I've had one in my life, and it was just a couple months ago.
Oh.
First time I ever had a Big Mac.
Yeah.
They're called Mac.
Big Mac.
Yeah.
Have I been mispronouncing it all these years?
Every day.
Huh. Interesting.
You do have brain damage.
That's true. But it might be autism. I don't know. Roddy Hogan.
Yeah.
Longtime super fan. Detroit native. Maybe not a native, but at least lived there for a long, long time. Passed away. Might have been yesterday as we record this, but it was announced today. And a lot of outpouring of respect from the wrestling community over the passing of Roddy. A lot of news sites reporting about Roddy's passing. Wow. And I think Roddy would appreciate that because he was very passionate about wrestling, sort of eccentric at the time, at times at shows.
How well did you know him?
I mean, came to virtually every Detroit show that I ever did, and we would have pretty in-depth conversations. I think we've talked about on the show. I still have on a flash drive, and maybe in his memory, I should make something happen with it. He's given me a script for his movie that was never made, Ice Cream Truck Man on Trial, where Jerry Springer plays his dad and Hulk Hogan is his brother. So perhaps maybe there's some gems in that script he tried to pass along over the years to Zach Allen and Stephanie McMahon, to no avail. But, Roddy, if you ever watched the show from the 90s, pay-per-views specifically that were in the Detroit or Dayton area, you'll see Roddy. King of the Ring 93, I think Bash at the Beach 94, maybe Halloween Havoc 94, because I think that was in Detroit. So if you watch the WCW pay-per-view or WWF pay-per-view in the 90s, what?
Are we recording?
We are.
Okay. We got to rewind a second. Roddy Hogan, I met him.
Did you?
Yeah, I hung out with him. He was at Phyllis Lee's house, who's X-Pac's mom.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
One time I went to Detroit to work a show. He was from Detroit, right?
Yeah, wait, are you accusing Roddy Hogan of being in a relationship with X-Pac's mom?
I don't think so.
Is he the father of Sean Waltman?
No, because I don't think that's Sean Waltman's biological mother.
Who is she?
She was, I don't know, but she was booking Japan.
What?
Yeah, she was trying to get me and Hito to go there and join up in the UWFI or something
She tried to book Roddy Hogan?
Porisu, whatever that is.
Hollywood Roddy Hogan?
Yeah. So that dude was there. I don't know. I think he was like a neighbor or something.
Okay.
Yeah, he was just randomly, and then he was at the show, and we stood outside and talked for a while. And I was like, man, I think this is that guy that's always on pay-per-view.
Yep. Dressed like Hulk Hogan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was him.
Drove an ice cream truck. Always dressed like Hulk Hogan on the ice cream truck. Well,
I'll buy my ice cream from that guy.
Yeah. Well, R.I.P. Roddy Hogan. Yeah. You're always good to me, man. And
good to me too.
One more thing before we pay some bills and then get to our interview today. Buff Bagwell. Some pretty alarming news this weekend about him getting his leg amputated, and we've talked about it on the show before. Not particularly proud of it, but when we were doing the Bad Wrestling cameos, one of the cameos that we brought to light was the cameo with Buff on drugs with really black and blue face, and it went viral and got around, and that video of him doing a wide variety of cameos while black and blue in the face was after a car wreck that he had in 2020, and he never really recovered from that physically. He'd been limping around for years, had a hard time getting in the ring, had a hard time getting in and out of vehicles, and I didn't say anything on the show. I don't even think I mentioned it to you, but Buff had been talking to Gowan for a while. Gowan is missing a leg, and Buff was seeking advice, support from Zach, trying to understand and come to terms with how to live life, knowing that they were probably going to have to amputate his leg. And so I knew about this for a little bit, and it was so long ago now that Zach told me about it. I started to think, well, maybe it's not a thing. I don't know why it would not be a thing if Buff said it was a thing, but they amputated his leg, and I watched a couple videos from Buff this past weekend, and it seemed like he was in good spirits, and he was okay with it, especially because he was not going to have any pain anymore. He had more pain with his kneecap attached than he's going to have without it. So I always enjoyed Buff when I was a kid. I did a wide variety of shows with Buff over the years, and I told him to his face years ago on a show in New Jersey, he was the reason, him and Chris Hamrick, that I bought my first independent wrestling ticket when I saw their names booked for the show on the poster, and so I thanked him for that. I think I would have probably found my way to an independent show eventually, but when I saw Buff Bagwell was booked, I had to buy my ticket. my $10 ticket. And so best wishes go out to Buff Bagwell. And your thoughts on the whole situation, Aaron?
Buff Bagwell, I was a huge fan of because I used to watch Global Wrestling and The Handsome Stranger. I liked that character. And then shortly after he was on that show, he was in WCW as Marcus Alexander Bagwell, the Yellow Jacket or something like that. He's from Georgia. Yeah. So I liked him there. And then I loved when he turned and he was Buff Bagwell. I was a huge Buff Bagwell fan for a while.
I loved him before that. When I started watching in 94, I had just missed him, and I didn't just miss him. I saw right at the tail end him and Scorpio as a tag team.
Yeah.
And then it became Stars and Stripes.
Yep,
with
and I like both those tag teams.
And I thought they were very underrated, actually,
yep.
when I would watch the WCW programming. But yeah, I loved them in the NWO. And I remember watching live over a buddy's house when he freaking broke his neck on Nitro, like that. Because I was like so confused as a kid. Because when something bad actually happens, it usually doesn't look that bad, right? Like it's not, especially when you only understand pro wrestling and what it's supposed to look like in pro wrestling, and then it doesn't look like anything, but it's actually a serious situation. That was very scary in the middle of that live Thunder with Rick Steiner. And, obviously he came back from that. Buff has come back from a lot. And, like I said, he seemed very optimistic, and I have no doubt that Buff will not only get through this, but I think he's going to be better off missing this part of him, and I think he's going to gain a lot more from that. So, hope Buff is in good spirits and everything goes all right with him going forward. But anything else you wanted to talk about before we go to commercials?
I don't think so. I wanted to talk about, I don't know. I've had a hard time recently.
Oh.
Yeah.
What's wrong?
Well, I've been looking for like a guy to make designs for me.
Oh.
Because I had a design in mind.
Are you stupid? Do you not
Yeah.
know? We plug a guy who designs stuff every
Which guy do you plug?
single week. Juan Ortiz of the Dead Designs.
Oh, he could probably make me something with you on a cloud, right?
Yes, he's the guy that we talk about every week that does that. He's done it for almost 20 years. I don't know why this is such a
I'm going to put you on a cloud.
Okay.
Yeah. You and your brother Zach.
Oh, Zach Thomas.
Yeah.
Professional
Zach
wrestler.
Thomas. I want you both on clouds.
Okay.
I want this to be a design by Juan of the Dead.
Now, hold on. Do you think that would create a conflict of interest if we're both on the cloud? Because I'm very clean, and Zach Thomas is very grimy.
Yeah. That's what I like about it. Like, Juan would make it like, have you ever seen the Peanuts Gang?
My brain literally went to that.
Okay, so yeah, your grimy brother is like Pigpen. He's got the dirt all around him, right?
Yep.
And then you're on a cloud, and you look like Charlie Brown because you're a balding loser. And you guys are both on clouds.
Why'd you call me a balding loser?
Oh, I meant to say handsome dude, vascular.
Real quick, I want to just cut in because Alice Crawley exposed me to this video, and I'll have to find out who this prankster is. This guy,
this prankster.
He's a prankster. He goes up to people in stores, and he calls. He's like, "Hey, watch it, jackass." He just calls them jackass and stuff. But the best was if you're bald, he talks trash to them nonchalantly. He's like, let me talk, bald head. He keeps calling him bald head. So I'll go in my brother's room now. I'm like, "Hey, bald head," and he'll be like, "Stop calling." He thinks I'm insulting him personally, but he doesn't know I stole it from this prankster's video. Anyways, continue.
Man, you sound so old.
I do.
Anyway, I want Juan to make me a shirt, but like I don't have a lot of money right now, and like if I could find a way to save money, then I would get this idea done in bumper sticker form.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
What other
right
kind
on
of
the rear end?
What kind of artwork other than things with clouds can get done from Juan Ortiz? Like I know.
Oh, he could make you a picture of Goldberg.
Ryan Egan, are you listening?
Oh.
Juan? Well, I know that if you mention Iron on Wrestling, you save $20 on your first design. It's $20.
Man, okay. Well, I'm gonna get something then because I need to save $20.
Well, what I'm saying, if Ryan Egan wanted a picture of him like kissing Goldberg like right after Goldberg headbutted his head onto his locker room door.
I think Goldberg headbutts Ryan Egan. Egan no-sells it. Goldberg blows smoke out of his nose.
Mm-hmm.
Egan inhales that smoke, and they're both on clouds.
I want something a little more suggestive, like
yeah.
Juan, tell me this. Of the Dead Designs, and people, if you're listening, save $20. And if Juan can't do this for free, because I know he has car that needs to be taken care of.
He has car.
He has car. He has car that needs to be taken. He has car and wheels for drive. For drive. I want a suggestive looking scene where here's what I'm thinking. It's the aftermath of what's just occurred. Goldberg is going out for his last match.
Yeah.
He headbutted his head on the door. Okay.
Okay.
Doug Dillinger has knocked on the door, and he said, "Goldberg, it's time." And then Goldberg, he's not answering, right?
Yeah.
So then they have to break down the door. The door has been broken down. Now, Ryan Egan, for some reason, is one of the security guards. Ryan is the first to check on Goldberg. Yeah. And he's holding Goldberg in his arms. Blood is trickling out of Goldberg's forehead.
Oh, God, please,
and so Ryan starts kissing Goldberg on the forehead. And for some reason, he has lipstick, so he's leaving like lipstick marks on Goldberg's forehead. And so then Ryan's wife, Angie, walks in and thinks that Ryan is having some sort of like intimate affair with Bill Goldberg. Wow. That is the drawing that I want commissioned from Juan Ortiz and Of the Dead Designs. And folks on Patreon, or, free listeners on iTunes, Spotify, wherever you download podcasts, if you can help make this design happen to put on a shirt or perhaps a billboard for Ryan Egan, I would love that so much. And
bumper sticker.
To contact Juan Ortiz, or to set up the GoFundMe, contact Juan Ortiz at Of the Dead Designs on Instagram, facebook.com/ofthedeaddesigns, or go to his website, ofthedead.weebly.com, because Of the Dead Designs is bringing artwork to life.
Man, you know what else I'd like to bring to life?
What's that?
I would like to bring Goldberg back to life after Ryan Egan gives him mouth to mouth.
Oh.
You ever think about that? Late night, like Saturday.
Okay, I thought you wanted to plug the next sponsor.
Oh, hey. Lately I've been feeling weak.
How weak?
Last week.
What about this week?
This week I feel great because I hooked up with a good friend of mine over the interweb.
You hooked up?
Yeah, we talked about some things.
What dating app?
Hey, you would like to know, wouldn't you?
Well, Grindr is not the official sponsor of Iron on Wrestling. Just throw that out there. Are you talking about TNT-health.com?
I sure am.
I don't feel like Mike, knowing his stance on some things, would like that we associated Grindr with him and his brand.
No. This is about being strong and healthy.
Okay.
Which I feel like I'm strong and healthy this week as opposed to last week.
Yeah, well, I think I'm strong and healthy based on the TNT-health.com supplements that I receive on a regular basis.
You look like you've been taking glutamine, have you?
I actually do post-workout, and I also take creatine before I do my band exercises. And, the organic vanilla protein I actually use tonight in my shake with a couple of bananas and a little bit of protein cereal, which I did not get from TNT-health.com, but TNT-health.com.
Where'd you get the banana from?
I got it from Drug Mart.
Oh, I thought maybe you won it. Banana on a pole match inside of hotel wrestling.
I tell you, I rip up my banana before I put in my protein shake because I'm not eating any banana the long way. But do things the right way, not the wrong way. Buy your supplements from TNT-health.com because, listen, Mike is going to go above and beyond the Call of Duty. He's going to help you with your nutrition. He's going to tell you your macros. He's going to hold your hand and help you hit your fitness goals. He's going to get you the products you need because he's not selling products. He's selling results. So do yourself a damn favor. Go to TNT-health.com right now. Free to look. 10% off anything you buy with promo code IRONON. Save 10%. TNT-health.com because at TNT Health, it's about your health today, not tomorrow. Aaron.
Yes.
We have to go to our guest.
Oh, okay.
Would you like to set the stage for us and our guest?
Yes, our guest is the voice of the party animals, the Banana Ball League team. So he gets the crowd hyped. He got his start in college and studied, announcing and broadcasting, and he did some stuff. 15 years, I think, with the Columbus Clippers, the Cleveland Guardians minor league team.
Quite the repertoire.
Yeah, and he does some wrestling stuff on the side. So I'm trying to get into Banana Ball.
Well, and I think when you hear Big Matt in our interview, you too just might get into Banana Ball. Let's go to the interview.
Well, pardon the interruption, folks, but we have a special guest in the building today. Big Panda, Party Panda, the voice of the party animals from, well, my favorite baseball league currently, the Banana Ball League. Big Matt Leininger. Hi, Matt.
Hi, everybody.
Good to see you.
It's good to be seen. What's going on, fellas?
Well, I mentioned the baseball stuff, but also you dabble in some pro wrestling.
Yeah, no bumps here. A little bit too old for that, but I'm currently enjoying let's see, 4 or 5 months in with working with Unsanctioned Pro out of Columbus, Ohio, and that I love it.
Yeah,
I absolutely love it.
Greg, you've worked there, right?
Yeah, it's been a little bit, couple years at least. I think the last time I was there was me and your boy Bobby Beverly. Matt, you have an extensive background in commentary. You've gone to school for a long time for it. You're very versatile, I hear.
We've put some miles into the voice to get us where we are.
Yeah, but you love pro wrestling and you're a big guy. Now you say like you're way past the period of like trying to take bumps. Was that everything? Was that anything that ever intrigued you?
Oh, 100%. I'd been a fan of pro wrestling since it's one of my first memories. I had a single mom living in government assistant housing, but it had cable. And so Saturday morning, and she went to school full time and worked full time from the time I was like, until I could be away from her until I was 6 or 7. But one of my first memories is watching Saturday morning wrestling with her because I lived with my grandparents during the week while she did all her stuff, and then I spent her weekends with her. Yeah. And from the time my mom loves to tell this story, from the time I was 4 years old, it started when I was 4 years old, I could always be won over with McDonald's. Large guy, of course. But from the time I was 4, my mom would take me to McDonald's. We would order a large extra value meal and a Happy Meal. I would take the toy out of the Happy Meal and eat the extra value meal. So like, it was known early on that I was probably going to be pretty big. Doctor said when I was born that I was going to be 6'8", and I got to 6'5", and came pretty close. So not small. Always loved pro wrestling and never really thought about it as a possible career. And it's one of the very few regrets that I have is after my college football career was done, not immediately jumping into the ring, because I was built like a brick house. Yeah. And I wasn't in the mental capacity or in the right mindset to do it at that time. It also wasn't a major interest in mine. There's been ebbs and flows of my pro wrestling love over the past 35, 36 years. So during the college football days was a time when I was kind of backed off of the product. So it wasn't until it would have been 08. So I was done playing in 04. About 08 is when I really started to fall back in love with, getting the pay-per-views every month and never missing Raw and whatnot, and watching a whole lot of WWE. That's the only thing you could watch at the time. And it was literally the Daniel Bryan Yes movement that was just starting. That it's like, you know what? Yeah, I'm going to start watching again. And I've been pretty locked in since that point. And that was when I really started to learn the business, because I had started working in live sports production right around that time, working with the Columbus Clippers and doing some stuff with some other organizations in Columbus. And it turned into me being like, oh man, I've still got some miles left. My body's hurting from football, but I wasn't quite 30. Learned about NXT, learned that it was this was around 2012, 2013 time. 31, I think, was the oldest that they would take a wrestler with no actual experience.
Oh, so it was just that particular month, like that's what they're looking for. Because over the years, it's been like, I don't know, someone was talking to me recently about like, they won't take guys like over 40. And it's like, yeah, that's what they want this month. And then next month it'll change.
Yeah, so, I didn't have a grasp on the business as a whole at the time like that. That was just the information that I saw. I was training really hard. I was lifting, got myself into really good shape. I was probably 250, 260 and just moving well. I was running a lot, lifting a lot, and just didn't have a school in Columbus. And right around that time is actually when Aaron and I met, because Vic, do we call him his real name, or do we go the stage name with Vic around here?
You want.
Vic Joseph.
Yeah, good old Travaglianti.
Yeah. Okay.
He hooked me up with, was it Mega? I think it was Mega. And he was like, yeah, dude, I'll be at this show. I'll introduce you to some people, and we'll have you do like ring announcing for one show or for one match, like a pre-show match. I was like, that's cool, like just one, blah, blah, blah. We get there, we're there for like an hour or whatever, and he comes up and he goes, hey, we're going to throw you on commentary for the whole show.
It sounds right. Mega, that era.
And I didn't know any of the wrestlers. I knew wrestling, but I honestly have never heard. It was a Valentine's Day show. That's all I remember from 2012, 13, 14.
Valentine's Day Massacre.
Yeah. No, hold on. So you have no knowledge of anything happening. Are you given any information? Like, do they give you a run sheet? Do they give you any instruction whatsoever except for you need to talk
and please don't think that I'm like trying to bury Megan
no,
or anything.
No, not at all.
When I say this, it was literally like. And Vic was just like, yeah, go talk to each wrestler and find out what the name of their finisher. And that was like the extent of it. And so, again, please don't think that I'm trying to bury anybody or sound bad about anybody. It was one of those where there just wasn't really much of a plan.
But look, that's what I did to Vic. When Vic first came into PWO, he was like, okay, well, could you lead me through this? And I went, nope, you're on your own. You want to figure things out, you go up, you talk to everybody, blah, blah, blah. And I was just being kind of like the whole hazing type of deal. Was I that way with you?
Not at all.
Yeah. No. Was I very helpful?
Well, see, it's really
different time in my life.
It's really one of the only things that I remember from that show was the one or two matches that you and I did together, and you just kind of jumped on because like Vic had introduced us, and you were like, "Yeah, this is my buddy. And you need any advice? Talk to Aaron or whatever." And I don't even remember who I did the first half of the show with. But I basically just tried to turn into like a heel Jerry Lawler, and I was just commenting on, Lorraine being an unintelligent crowd, and
easy. Yeah,
got to take their shoes off to count past 10, that sort of stuff, just because I didn't know what the heck I was doing. That being said, I loved it, and I can't remember the guy's name who was in charge of Mega at the time, bigger dude, but
Traxler.
He was like, yeah, come on back, we'll work, we'll do some more stuff. But at that time, I didn't have a car.
Yeah.
And so it was like I lived in Columbus. I was pushing towards certain things in Columbus, and everybody telling me, you need to, get in with a school. Vic was going to try. Gargano was still with AIW at the time. He was going to try to get me into that school and whatnot. I just didn't have a car, and so that was basically where two things stopped that dream. Besides having a car and not really having a school in Columbus, it was girlfriend at the time. Wanted me to have a full-time job, so he kind of gave up on that and kind of focused there.
Yeah, those girlfriends will always ruin that wrestling dream. I can't like 90% of wrestling stories end with, and then I got a girlfriend. It's terrible. It's terrible. That happens though.
It happens. And then the other thing that really stopped it, and I love telling this story because you guys see me. I'm not small. I'm not a small man. NXT set up at the Arnold for the first time.
Okay.
And they were doing the Arnold for 3 days and a ring set up and whatnot, and it was awesome. I literally went all 3 days. But no. So they had a little recruitment area set up. I mean, it was just like a booth, whatever. And I kept seeing different people going and sitting down and whatnot. And the one time that I saw what looked like a wrestler, and I was on the other side of the ring, like I couldn't really get a close look. I walk over and just start chatting up the guy that's sitting there, and basically, shook my hand, or stuck my hand out, and I stuck my hand out very respectfully. The gentleman on the other side of the table stands up. His hand, I wear XXL football gloves.
Yeah.
His hand engulfed mine,
Ooh.
Swallowed my hand.
What?
And I just kept watching this gentleman stand up and get bigger and bigger and bigger. Oh, hey, good to meet you. My name's Braun. It was Braun Strowman.
That's a good Braun Strowman.
He had not debuted yet.
Yeah.
So like he was working in NXT, but wasn't doing live. Or I think he was doing live Florida shows, but he hadn't started. He wasn't on TV yet.
Yeah.
Bad haircut and all. Like, I'm not finished with you.
That's good.
But no, like that was a come to Jesus moment of like, maybe I'm not as big as I thought I was. And along with the girlfriend pushing me away from it and stuff, that was kind of where that in-ring dream died. And then past the age of 31, and we kind of gave up on it. So
Yeah.
It's been a want for a long time. It was right around there where it started to be like, okay, if I'm doing PA announcing in baseball, like I've done other hosting and stuff, like I'd really like to get into ring announcing. Took about 12 years for that to actually happen. And last year, my buddy Don and I, well, Don's the one that found it, found out about Unsanctioned doing monthly shows. With getting that opportunity, with them was merely because our ring announcer Will, who everybody loves, Will's awesome. Him being a military guy, he's still involved. Like he's not enlisted anymore, but he's still involved with different stuff. And he gets a military contract, and military moves his family to Germany.
Oh wow.
Oh,
And so it was one of those where I had told Will specifically because he knew that I worked for the Clippers, and I was just like, hey, is there ever anything you guys need? I have this experience. It's always been a dream, blah, 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 blah. He comes up to me this one show, and this was probably 8 months ago, I think, maybe. Hey, so I'm moving. Do you want to be me here? And I'm just like, yeah.
So like, ring announcing's not an easy thing to do, and I imagine you have a lot of tasks that you have to do throughout the night to figure stuff out, get stuff going. Like, who are you going to like learn stuff?
I think you see in the smaller promotions where the ring announcer is more of a host than anything. I guess you still get that in the house shows in WWE, I guess, and whatnot.
Yeah.
Kind of the way I got started in PA announcing was there were two guys that I had heard and really honed in on, and so I tried to basically do an impression of those two put together and tried to sound like what I thought the impression of an announcer would sound like. And then over the years, I slowly curated and made it my own and kind of found my own voice and kind of stepped away from those guys. And I feel I've done that quickly with in-ring where, I've listened to Justin Roberts for years. We all love Howard Finkel. Like that's an easy one. But really hearing, it was Greg Murray with the Blue Jackets. Does the Jackets on the power play. And that, I can't do it without being really loud, but that right there. Figuring out how to do that almost naturally, getting that down is something that I had heard Justin Roberts do, the John Cena, when he really gets into it. I had heard that for years, and it was just a matter of finding, I tried to do an impression of Greg Murray saying Jackets on the power play. And by doing that, I learned how to then do that in my own voice. And so it's been like I had Will, I had some classic, WWE guys. And then it just kind of was like, okay, we know how to use our own voice. It wasn't like I was going into it blind. It was just pro wrestling's a new experience.
Yeah.
And trying to be humble enough to where it's, and I've had to tell, I've told Derek with Unsanctioned several times where it's like, dude, critique me. Like, yes. If you came into the booth and tried to tell me how to announce baseball, I'm going to entertain and be like, yeah, sure. And then I'm not going to do it because I know what I'm doing.
Right.
But if Derek tells me he wants something specific when it comes to how I'm attacking something in the ring or blah, 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 then I'm absolutely listening. My experience is not in the squared circle. So when I'm getting that feedback and learning, then it's really starting to, figure out where I'm at. And as far as hoping to eventually get some more work in the business and, maybe do some bigger promotions and whatnot, especially when Banana Ball is in the off season or, won't we get to do Banana Ball forever. So it's having that plan and kind of getting in with some places and, just building relationships and the networking and whatnot. So just getting started with it. But the nice thing is it's something I can do for the next 20, 25 years. And I enjoy it. It was just as cool for me to do my first Unsanctioned show solo in ring as it was working in front of 103,000 at the shoe in Ohio State. Like, just because it's, and I'm not trying to say anything bad about Ohio State and that experience, but to me, I only like football for the past 20, 25 years. Wrestling I've liked since I was as long as I can remember.
What I love about you talking about being an announcer in general, just the idea that the artistry that comes with being a good ring announcer, a PA person is it's no different than pro wrestling in the sense that, early on you're trying to figure out who you are, right? And you want to emulate all these different wrestlers, and then you take those little pieces and you make it your own. And it's interesting you brought up Justin Roberts, because I remember hearing a story about him when he was starting, and he would get feedback from everybody in the back, like, yo, why are you trying to sound like Howard Finkel? Like, he's doing like an impression of Howard Finkel instead of like finding who he was. And so like, that's pretty cool that you were already like zeroed in on that. And yeah, I mean, as long as your voice stays, which for most people, your voice stays for a pretty long time, but I think you might have a future, you know, but you just got to get out there. You know?
I'm hoping so.
You know, here's another thing I wanted to bring up. Back when Vic was working with us for PWO and that, he was always concerned about his height. And that was a thing. WWE was like, you know, we're probably not going to look at you because you're so tall. You make our wrestlers look small. Here, you're going to have to stand like this. And a lot of times Vic would stand in the interviews.
The split leg.
Yeah. We would be doing the RVD split leg moonsault, basically.
Bingo.
Well, that's changed now. You know, I think Vic is, God, I don't know if I want to say this or not, but he's like a trailblazer for that. Like the taller guy being the announcer. And so like any preconceived notions that people would have had in the past, or I think they're gone. I think Vic kind of is leading the way and shattering that.
And I'm 100% cool with that too.
Yeah.
But you also, you know, you bring guys back like, you know, Wade Barrett. What is he, 6'6"?
Yeah.
6'5", 6'6". So, you know, you can have them doing a side-by-side and you don't even notice that Vic is 6'5".
Yeah.
You know, like they're standing next to each other and you can do just fine. If you set it up then, if you got a smaller person, have a different person interviewing him. Not that Vic really does a lot of interviewing now. I mean, he's mostly just that play-by-play guy.
Yeah.
Like, I'm so proud of him. I go back to the Brock Lesnar Rey Mysterio match.
Yeah.
I can't say that I've listened to all of Vic's calls, but that is my favorite call. When Dominic was involved before Dom's heel turn and stuff, they do the back-to-back splashes. Yes. Vic's voice is cracking. He's gonna do it. He's gonna. And God.
You know, you've been doing the stuff for Unsanctioned Pro for a few months now, but also, you know, you mentioned Banana Ball. And this is something that I had no idea what it even was until a few weeks ago when Aaron was showing me videos. And I was like, wow, if there's any type of like sport/entertainment entity that could be like wrestling, it's Banana Ball. How do you fall into that?
So I will, before I tell the story of how I got involved with it, my favorite thing is to say that it's more sports entertainment but Banana Ball is more sports entertainment than professional wrestling is.
Yeah.
I know Vince loved the term, one of the term the coin or coined the term the coin. Yeah, I speak for a living. Can you tell?
Okay.
You know, but that's what I compare it to. I think it's a mixture of minor league baseball, Harlem Globetrotters, and professional wrestling. And when I say those are three of my favorite things on the planet, being able to get involved with this, and it's funny. It wasn't my 14 years in minor league baseball. It wasn't working. It wasn't doing wrestling at Ohio State. It wasn't the 105 or 104,000 at the shoe. It was my women's volleyball work is the reason I got noticed. And a good friend of mine, now a good friend, didn't know him at the time, Isaac Powell, was one of our entertainment leads with Banana Ball. And he, his older sister played volleyball at Ohio State. And women's volleyball at Ohio State was probably the one sport where because I knew I was allowed to, I just had fun. Like, I'd jump into the crowd and start Deo chants. I'd get up and start dancing. The match is about to start, and I get up out of my seat, and I turn around to the crowd, and I start slow claps and everything. Like, I had the most fun, and I just had fun because I was allowed to. And, like, because Coach Jen Flynn Oldenburg, she was like, hey, I want you to have fun. When you announce, you have more fun. Really getting into, with the Buckeye kill. Like, oh, I love that's the one sport I miss more than anything working at Ohio State is women's volleyball. But Isaac remembered watching me work with Ohio State volleyball in one of the games that he went to watch his sister, and it was just kind of in the back of his mind that I would work out well with what he was doing. With Banana Ball expanding, the two new teams starting this year, and the Party Animals getting their own headline tour, with them playing at the same time as the Bananas, you got to come up with a brand new entertainment cast, which means new hosts, new in-game entertainment. And it was around the middle to end of March where they're like, okay, you available for a Zoom call? I didn't realize that it was going to be an interview at the time. So it was just going to be, I was like, oh yeah, Isaac just wants to sit down for a quick Zoom call. And I get on and it's literally 5 of the biggest people outside of Jesse sitting on this call. And just like, oh, it's the professor. And, oh, it's Isaac. And, oh my God, what is going on? And I actually think that worked in my favor because I didn't overthink an interview. I was just like, oh, I just got a call with my buddy. Probably an hour later, I got a text asking if I was available to come the following weekend to audition. And so I spent 5 days down in Savannah, did Bananas vs. Party Animals, 3 games. I I handled the Party Animals intros in game 1. They had another person auditioning. He did game 2, and then we went back and forth in game 3 on the Sunday. And it was one of the funnest weekends of my life because when Banana Bowl when the Bananas came to Columbus last year, I was working a gate. So I was like working a ticket gate, so I didn't get to actually sit and watch the show. And being able to sit and watch the show on top of throw my own stuff in.
Hey, sorry, I just got to tell you, I love that you call it a show.
It is a show.
Yeah.
I called our event, all of our events are a show.
Yeah. It's not a game, right?
It is a game. The game can happen, but I'm not involved in the game.
Yeah,
I'm involved in the show.
Okay.
And that's how I looked at it with all the sports that I do, because it is a show, and it was just an amazing weekend. But I had the mindset going in of like, dude, there's no way I'm getting this. Like, they're probably trying out like 100 different people, really downselling my own skills and my own experience and what I've done and whatnot. And so I just went down. I was like, just have fun. I get a text flew back on Monday. Got a text on Tuesday as I was driving, or during the day, asking if I was available for a call after 4. Get the call. Hey, we want you to be the guy. Before I know it, I'm on a flight. I've taken more flights in the last 3 months than I had combined my entire life.
Hey, so for anybody that doesn't have a sense of like what Banana Ball looks like, we mentioned how there's a little bit of pro wrestling in it. It's definitely very comparable to like watching the Harlem Globetrotters. Like if someone were to watch an event or go to an event, what can they expect from something like that?
Fast-paced, lots of action. There's a lot of things happening, and I keep bringing up ebbs and flows. But the ebbs and flows of baseball, where there's big things happen and then we kind of sit. Big things happen and kind of sit. Now I'm a purist by all means. I love the game of baseball. It is. I would have played it even longer if I hadn't grown into this body that was just happened to be good at football. Let me break down like our whole day. So if you got a 7 p.m. game, we have a plaza, like a fenced-in area generally outside where we're going to have a stage. We got food, drink, and merch tents set up. And from 3:30 to 5:30, the DJ starts at 3:30, plays until about almost 4:30, and then we have a band. It's kind of a party band called Party Down. Awesome people. I love every member of that band. They're such good human beings. But they'll start playing around 4:30, and then we'll do like a stage show where they'll play a song, and then our couple of hosts will come up and do some stuff, and then a couple of players will come out, and blah, blah, blah. And all of this is happening until 5:30. 5:30, the gates open up, and then everybody can go into the park. At 5:40, I make my first announcement, and probably 5:50, we start with our first host doing crowd work. They do crowd work. We do stuff on field, all kinds of things, and including introing the teams, the starting lineups, and whatnot. All kinds of different things are happening till 7 o'clock. We start the clock, 2-hour time limit. Boom, we roll. Only one game so far that I've worked, I believe, has gone over an hour time limit. We did have one that was just short of the record for the fastest game in Banana Ball history. I think the record was hour 23, and we had an hour 27.
Oh, wow.
Hey, another thing, though, is the pitchers get a reward, right? If you pitch the fastest inning, there's some kind of reward
at the end of the season. The fastest inning award for sure.
So look, they want you to never be bored, and I learned this from Dan Gilbert from the Cavs. Not that I knew him, but I heard him talk about it. He said, "I never want there to be a time where you're like, yeah, I'll wait till this point, and then I'll go and I'll get my beverage and my popcorn, and I'll go to the bathroom." He said, "I don't want you to ever think that there's a point where it's going to be boring, where you can get up and leave." And that's what it seems like with the party animals and Banana Ball.
Exactly what it is, and you will notice nobody's trying to beat traffic. There's people there through the 7th,
they're there
8th
for the whole game,
the 9th inning showdowns, or 9th inning, and then going into showdowns if necessary. Which are the showdowns is so much better than extra inning rule in my opinion.
Yeah.
So basically, what our extra innings look like if it's tied after 9 innings, we go to showdown where it's basically we go into like 1-on-1. So you've got a pitcher, a catcher, a hitter, and to start the first showdown, you have one fielder, generally a shortstop, and then literally the hitter has to score. So no matter where he hits it, say he hits a liner to left field, the shortstop sprints out to left field to get to the ball and tries to throw it home before the batter can run all the way around. That's the first showdown. If you don't get a winner out of the first showdown, second showdown, you pull the shortstop. And so it's true 1-on-1. So if they hit a fly ball to center, the pitcher literally takes off and sprints and tries to get to the ball and throw it home before the runner scores.
I love that.
Then the third showdown is they load the bases. You bring the shortstop back, and it's still 1-on-1. And then you see how many runs that you can score. The idea is to score all 4. Then in the fourth showdown, you pull the shortstop again. keeping a home run ends showdowns. Home run by either team. Like, we could go into showdowns, and if the away team hits a home run, it's over. Like, it doesn't matter if the other team doesn't get to bat.
Yeah.
My very first game, we were in Albuquerque. My very first game. It's also the Texas Tailgaters' first game as a team. They're playing. They're the road team. We go into 4 showdowns. 4 showdowns, and thank the banana ball gods, because Bryson Bloomer hit a grand slam, walk-off grand slam in the bottom of the 4th showdown for us to win. Like, my first game, my voice was shredded.
I bet.
My voice was absolutely shredded. Had never been in that kind of dry heat, that kind of elevation. And I also hadn't announced like that in a while, where because it's not just, you go to a baseball game and you'll hear like the home team guys when they're announced, like you get into that. No, I'm doing both sides. Both sides. I'm through the roof all game.
Yeah.
I've got one where we do it the second at bat every time of our leadoff hitter. His second at bat of every game is a guy named Reese Hampton. And I have this ability to start announcing something and just hold it. So where I kind of learned that from was when we had Jesus Aguilar. And the bigger the moment, the longer the Jesus call would be. So it'd be Jesus Aguilar. Well, I turned this one into a Reese Hampton thing where his second at bat, I get the Reese, and I'm looking at him the entire time. Obviously, we have this worked out. Everything's planned besides what happens live and with live baseball stuff. Everything else is planned. His second at bat, he gets up there, gets into the box. I'm holding the Reese, still holding the Reese, and finally he's about to get ready, and then he stops, looks up. He'll either give me like a thumbs up, and then I'll go, Reese Hampton, or he'll like look at his watch or be like, come on, you know, like,
man,
like,
this is so good.
And it's fun just because that's just one thing that I get to do that's part of the show, and being able to kind of find that flow with doing stuff with different guys and really find it. But that's every batter's getting, Bryson Bloomer. Like we're getting into every single one of them, where it's much more taxing on my voice than a normal baseball game.
Well, then also more than wrestling, because you have a match, you announce the 2 guys, or if it's a 4-way, whatever.
Yeah.
You announce the participants in the match. Then you have a break for, say the match goes 10 to 12, then you just announce the winner. This, you're announcing a new person like could be 30 seconds.
Yeah, it can go super fast.
Yeah.
And then I've got to introduce, whatever's happening during that mid-inning segment. Well, most of the time it's sending it down to our host, AJ Kirsch, sending it down to G8. We've got a guy named Garrett. I love Garrett so much, but we rolled right into the Jeff Jarrett style when I intro him. All right, let's kick it down to GARRET. It's Garrett. Ain't he great? Thanks, Panda. I'm down here on the field. And it's just finding that kind of stuff where you can have that personality. They encourage that kind of personality where my old boss used to say, with the Clippers, used to say, if there was a ceiling for announcing in baseball, Big Matt sits on the roof. Because I pushed that envelope a lot, because that's just what I am. I've always been high energy. I've always been, pumping up, and it's not a difficult thing for me to do with my voice, is to get excited. And I live through the crowd. I just pretend I'm part of the crowd. Yeah. I pretend I'm a fan who just happens to be paid to be there. And I'm feeling them. I'm going with their flow. I'm feeling that, and I'm paying attention to the moment. Yeah. I'm not going to, it was when I did Ohio State basketball, that first 3-pointer hit, it's not going to be 4-3. I'm not going to get into that first one.
Right. You got to build.
But we got a tie game in the 4th, or in the second half. I got men's basketball player. Yeah. So dumb. Tie game, a couple minutes left. I'm trying to get that crowd just a little bit more pumped up. Because the players aren't hearing what I'm saying. And I know this because I was a player. I was a collegiate athlete. I know I didn't hear what was coming from the announcer's mouth. I heard the crowd rise. Mm-hmm. I could feel that rumble more. That's what I felt, and that's what got me going. Yeah. I literally just try to be what I would want to hear an announcer be. And it's no longer it's not an impression. It's just if I go to an event, this is what I want to hear. I want to hear the guy for the Cavs, Cleveland Cavalier, Cleveland. I love that. Inject that into my veins, because that's. But it's also funny because I'm such a big on your feet, makes it. Let me hear those hands. I'm that guy. When I'm at an event, I'm just locked in on what's happening. I don't get up and clap and stuff. And I'm not saying that's certain events. Obviously, I will, but most of the time, I'm studying what everything is happening.
So Aaron told me that there's there's a lot of wrestling fans there, as far as that play, or there's indie guys.
So we've got a lot of indie guys involved with a lot of the different teams. 2 of the dad bod cheerleaders for the Bananas, they're pro wrestlers.
Great name, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then there's the old ladies that are just the nanas, right?
And then they got a grandma cheerleading squad. That's their grandma dance team.
Yes.
Whereas we have a party band, cover band, wedding band that plays. And then we have 2 flair bartenders that perform their flair and stuff. And then we've got a dance crew where we've got 3 incredible dancers. All these guys are awesome. Full Metal, Hector, Bam, and K-Rock. They're party starters. And not only are they just phenomenal dancers and great at what they do, they're just top-notch human beings. Yeah. And so that's another thing is I haven't had a negative interaction with a single person in Banana Ball so far.
That's awesome.
Not a player, not a higher up, not an intern, not an entertainment staff member. Jesse, one of the first things that Jesse, the man in the yellow tux, taught me was everything that I say should have a purpose. So you don't want to do too many on your feet. You don't want to do too many, make some noises and stuff. You don't want to go to that crowd action that often. I think there's like 4 or 5 times where it will be like on your feet. Mm-hmm. Because you don't want to do it too much because you want the crowd to respond when you're actually, when you
like
really
high spots in a match.
100%.
Well, comparison real quick is like, if you're a baby face, every time you're getting beat up, you shouldn't be stomping the mat, slapping the mat, trying to get the crowd up. Like you gotta wait for those moments when it actually matters before.
I just watched that TNA pay-per-view this weekend, and there was a woman who looked like Zelina Vega. I'm not sure who she was, but she was on the outside, and whoever she was with, it was her partner that was in the ring. Mm-hmm. Every time that woman was down, the girl on the outside kept slapping the mat, and by the second or third time, it was like the third time, the crowd just was like, no, we've done this twice already. Yeah. And we're like 4 minutes into the match.
You're waiting for the actual comeback in that time. Absolutely. Yep. So it was one where they were just kind of like, it was a t-shirt toss and sort of like, hey, you've done this for a long time. You know how to do a t-shirt toss. Just do how you've always done your t-shirt tosses. So going with what Jesse said, it was like, okay, what do I do to grab their attention without being through the roof? And I went through and it's like, okay, there are 2 times when I'm like, ladies and gentlemen, before the anthem and before we do Bananas Foster. And so that's a time when I really want the crowd to kind of settle. I don't want you cheering and stuff and clapping and stuff. I want you to pay attention to what I'm saying. So it goes from me being up here and all about it, and then all of a sudden, ladies and gentlemen. And so at this time, if able, please stand for the singing of our national anthem. Something like that, where I go back to a classic announcer and whatever. And the same thing with welcoming Emily Cole or whoever it is. Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, please welcome from Bananas Foster, Emily Cole. So then when all of a sudden we're, probably in the 7th inning. Inning ends, 3rd out is made. All of a sudden you hear the announcer go, ladies and gentlemen. You kind of just pay attention because you think it's just going to be serious, whatever. Yeah. And so it's, ladies and gentlemen, who wants a t-shirt? And then you just go nuts. You drop the beat and the crowd, dude. It's one of the biggest pops of the night. And it was one of those where it was like, it just turned into and my script literally says, Panda, do your thing.
Yeah.
Because that was just one thing and it just works. And so it's nice to be in a place where your ideas are listened to, they're encouraged, and they stick with things that you do that work. And so there's been things that I've tried that hasn't worked. I'm far from perfect. It's wonderful. It's such a breath of fresh air. Everybody's working towards a single goal of, it's called Fans First. We're the company that owns us. It's called Fans First Entertainment. I've long been a believer of I don't take a game off with my voice because every person that's walks through those gates has taken time out of their day to come to this event. They want to break from whatever the world is throwing at them. And no matter what class you are, color, age, race, whatever, sport is an escape for a short period of time. So I don't take things off because they spent their hard-earned money for this escape. I've had this mindset for over a decade, and it just so happened that now I work for an organization where every single person, intern, player, owner, everybody, is that exact same mindset. And it's weird to say feeling at home when you're on tour, but I'm so at home with what I'm doing right now.
Feeling at home when you're on the road.
Yep, feeling at home when you're on the road.
Yeah, I like that.
With the Bananas playing big stadiums and stuff, playing big league parks and some college football stadiums.
Not just playing them, selling them the hell out.
Selling them out every single show. All teams across all 4 teams are sold out for the rest of the year.
That's crazy.
The 3.5 million on the waiting list.
Wow.
Insane. Which is why we're going to continue to do bigger venues, but we're going to keep doing the minor league stadiums.
All these bigger shows for the Banana Ball, and you're not doing Unsanctioned. Are you trying to expand outside of Unsanctioned, more wrestling bookings? And if so, how can one find you and contact you?
I'm wide open to any wrestling opportunity. I would love to. I love Unsanctioned, and I hope to do Unsanctioned for a long time. And I'd like to throw some other things in there. So, social media, you can find me on Instagram _Big Matt. TikTok is bigmatt.fatherpanda. And Matt Leininger on Facebook. Yeah, I mean that's. I always check my requests, so message requests. You never know what's going to happen with that. So. No, I'm looking forward to expanding upon that. I'm looking forward to expanding upon Banana Ball, and I'm really looking forward to getting back to BG, back to my roots, and be able to show what I've learned over the last 15 years since I left school, and 21 years since I left the football team. So
you looking forward to talking more wrestling on Patreon with us today?
1,000%.
All right, cool.
All right. Well,
sounds like a plan.
Yeah, let's wrap this up here so we can get to that.
We got to eat some steaks too.
Let's do that.
Big Matt, thank you so much. Well, that was the interview with Big Matt, and man, the man drove 2 hours just to be here for that. That was fun.
He sure did. We had a good time. I was interested in hearing all the Banana Ball stuff, and then we carried over after the mics went off. So.
After the mics were off, which I wish we would have gotten more depth on the show, I didn't even think to ask him about the choreography and the amount of time that goes into that.
Yeah, I never thought of that either.
And it's interesting because in some ways, they get it done as quickly as you would at a wrestling show, right? Like the idea of like sometimes I've talked about on the show, like I show up, I meet a guy, we talk, what do you do? What do I do? We put it together in, half hour, 45 minutes, so I'll figure it out. And then we just go and do it. It's kind of the same thing at Banana Ball, which is baffling. But, if you enjoyed this interview today, you should definitely check out Banana Ball. Look for it on YouTube. And it's like, you don't even have to like baseball. Like, I love going to see the Harlem Globetrotters, and I do not like basketball because it's not basketball. Basketball is just a tiny element of what it actually is, and it's the same way with Banana Ball. As Big Mac kind of painted the picture, it's just a party, man. Like, they're hanging out more before and after the show than they are during the game. The game itself is like an hour.
Yeah. And again, he called it a show.
Yeah.
And that's what, it is.
So we thank Big Matt so much. And, again, if you're a wrestling promoter looking for a ring announcer with some incredible credentials, I'm sure Big Matt would love to work out a deal with you to come in for your event. And we did an extra on Patreon, patreon.com/Iron Wrestling, where you get a buttload of bonus content starting at $3. And we booked a AEW versus WWE fantasy card, and we talked about a plethora of other stuff, including my latest adventures on dating apps. Boy, you'll want to hear that.
Oh, yeah.
What?
Nah, nothing. You said boy, and I was thinking, well,
that's pretty accurate. 10 boys.
Wait, what?
Huh?
Men.
5 guys. Great
Double
burger.
Meat. Double meat.
That's all for this week, but we do have a bonus episode of over an hour over on the Patreon, and I'll be uploading more little, samples of the stuff I've been writing for my autobiography, which, without giving too much away, last week I had a nice in-depth discussion with a prominent figure who has some publishing companies involved, and he actually has done a documentary for Netflix. So I'm hoping that I got some wheels in motion for something pretty special. And I don't know when it's coming out, but I recorded an episode of Talk is Jericho this past Tuesday with Chris Jericho. We talked for about an hour, and so that'll be dropping sometime here in the next week or two. So, big things popping, little things stopping. And the best way to support Aaron and I here on the show is to invest in the Patreon. And it's only $3 a month at minimum. There's other tiers where you can get stuff in the mail and all that good stuff. But if you can't do that, subscribe to the YouTube, subscribe wherever you download podcasts, whether that be iTunes, Spotify, whatever the case may be. And follow us on social media. You can find me at Gregory_Iron on Instagram, Facebook.com/TheHandicappedHero. Book me at handicappedhero.com. Send me a message over there. You can see more about my speaking engagements, pro wrestling seminars, stuff like that. You can find me on Cameo there. Just search Gregory Iron. ProWrestlingTees.com/Gregory Iron, where all my shirts are still $20. $20 for a shirt. That's a hell of a deal. You can get my shirts, Aaron's shirts, Iron on Wrestling shirts. Aaron, what would you like to plug?
At Fair to Aaron on Instagram, at Fair to Air on Twitter.
All right.
No, anything else.
Okay, well, until next week, I guess we have to give each other a kiss goodbye.
You guess.
I mean, I would like to.
Okay, let's go.
All right.